Roadie in his apartment with his husband in Atlanta, which is actually really cool. Hi, yay, we made it. We had a little bit of tech issues where we're 2 minutes late, but we made it. And Dustin's got a really tight schedule, so we're going to fly through this, whereas yesterday I did an hour and a half. Today we're going to do 30 minutes. So if you have any questions whatsoever, I'm going to take my glasses off. If you have any questions whatsoever for Dustin or for me during this, you can write them in the comments and we will respond to them. I can put them up on the screen. And Dustin, you can talk about everything you're doing, but the most important thing is on the Plant-Based Network, you are streaming with your show, which is actually really cool. So people are watching you, and this is streaming. The primary place this is streaming is the Plant-Based Network, but it's going everywhere that I posted it to.
Fantastic.
Yes, but I wanted people to be able to like go, wow, this guy who I'm seeing on the television or my Roku, Amazon, Apple TV, or on the web, here he is. He's traveled like all over the world, and he's talked about. I just watched your Italian one. I was getting really hungry. The escargot and the beans.
The food's so good.
Exactly. So tell us about, who you are, what you're doing. I know you moved from New York to Atlanta recently. You did the Atlanta Veg Fest, which is how I know you. I've emceed, introduced you for the last 2 years.
Yes.
So go for it. Tell us who you are. Let's get some questions so you can,
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm a plant-based chef and a cookbook author and host and creator of the series The Vegan Roadie, which is essentially the plant-based version of diners, drive-ins, and dives. So we have 3 seasons. The first 2 seasons were in North America, so we covered a bunch of places. And then the 3rd season was in Italy, so super exciting. We had 6 episodes in Italy. And we are still slated to transition into a podcast format with even more episodes. However, with the recent events of the world, we're going to have to postpone it a bit. So we're working on a different podcast in the interim of that to sort of keep our creative juices flowing and still sort of bring some great content to people who are maybe new to veganism or who have been around forever looking for some new inspiration. So we're really excited. That's a new podcast. It's going to be called Keep on Cooking. And we're going to interview chefs and cookbook authors, mainly cookbook authors. It's going to be a focus on cookbooks so people can actually then get the content we're talking about and cook from it and explore after hearing these amazing chefs and authors talk about the food and why they created and just like their lives. So it's really cool. I mean, podcasting is like a really fun new platform. Not new for me. I did one last year, but to get to start to do these ones a little bit in that arena, I think is going to be a really nice expansive platform to have more thoughtful conversation about it. The show is so fast and zippy. We're just trying to show food and get as much in as we can and show people how delicious it is. What you're talking about?
What are we talking about? We're talking about Dustin right now. He's the Vegan Roadie and he's on the Plant-Based Network. So Dustin is sharing about what he's doing right now as time goes by with this virus and all that stuff. Because he's not traveling, because you're not traveling right now. You're staying home, right? Go on.
Sure, yeah. So we're the transition of Vegan Roadie into a podcast is on hold. But then, of course, it's not just going into podcast mode forever. Like, we always have our eyes on continuing to make video episodes of it. So, and what we're talking about is the Vegan Roadie, which is a plant-based version of diners, drive-ins, and dives, like we said. So, we're open to all formats and ideas of it coming our way. And of course, it being on the Plant-Based Network is a great expansion for it to get to more people, to get to more eyes, for them to see how easy vegan eating is when you're traveling, when you're in your home, in your hotel, like wherever, right?
Yep, exactly. I have a question for you. How many cookbooks do you have now?
I have 2 and I'm working on the 3rd one right now.
Right. So out of the 2 that you have, and maybe the 3rd one, you might even have this. What's your favorite recipe?
Gosh, I love everything I put in these books, and they're tested. You can ask David, who's over here, will attest to it. Like, they're tested over and over and over with me and a group of really great recipe testers. The first book, there's a spinach artichoke flatbread that I love, and it's super easy to make. Second book, there's a carbonara that was actually inspired by a trip in Italy, the filming of season 3. It's called David's Carbonara. I love that. Oh, and a baked potato soup that's after Bennigan's. I don't know if have you heard of Bennigan's? So they had a loaded baked potato soup back in the day. We veganized it for that book. And I love it. It's one of my favorite things. This book, honestly, there's so much, but there's a plate of nachos that I absolutely adore in this book. There's a one pot puttanesca that's just super, super tasty, pomodoro puttanesca. Lots of great things in it. There's these French toast sticks, the frozen French toast sticks. We've veganized a version of that you can actually eat as is right out of the oven, or you can throw in the freezer like you would with the French toast sticks and have them to make later. So, I mean, I don't have just one answer for that. I just love food.
Oh, I hear you completely. Do you have any advice for anybody who's at home now and maybe they're not the person that cooked all the time? What advice would
Sure.
you give to people who are at home and have to cook now, like 3 meals a day potentially, and even for family with kids and stuff? What's your
I
advice to
say,
them?
because even, and now granted, I don't have children, so I don't know, but what I'm getting from everyone is that they're all trying to find things to fill the hours. So even if they have children, if you have children, I say try and get them involved in cooking. Try and learn together, because that'll be, if they enjoy it, if they end up liking it, it'll be something fun to do together. And then take some time, because I know, my gosh, all day home with kids when they're usually in school, I can't imagine. It's like you love them, but so much time suddenly. Um, but what I would say is go to your pantry and, like, if there's a can of something, beans, tomatoes, whatever, that's been sitting there for 6 months, pull that can out, Google recipe diced tomatoes, and see what pops up. And then see if you have any other things on that list, hopefully. And maybe you can, like, throw it together. And that's a way to start utilizing things that are in your pantry.
Right, that's really good advice. And then for somebody who just isn't a cook, best advice for them?
Yeah, someone that isn't a cook, look up 5 ingredient vegan recipes.
There you
Usually they're
go.
super simple. It's tossing things in a bowl, and you're home, you have the time. They're usually pretty foolproof. You can look up 4 ingredient vegan recipes if you want to. There's probably a site on 3 ingredient vegan recipes. Like, I mean, there's so much so much content that people are putting out, especially right now. But, like, in general, the internet is just this plethora of information. It's a university, essentially. You know what I mean? People can learn whatever they want. So
Yes.
I think if you're not a cook, you can even Google how to cook for dummies. Like, I mean, and I guarantee something's going to pop up that'll be helpful. You know what I mean?
Yes, I completely know what you mean. So you said you're working on a new cookbook. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So the last one was called Epic Vegan. This one's called Epic Vegan, Quick and Easy.
Okay.
And it's just that the last one was huge, big, over the top vegan items. Over the top milkshakes, over the top sandwiches, burgers, pizza, pastas, all that comfort food we all know and love, taken up like a notch, even, right? Just like
Mhm.
food for your eyes, and, like, wasn't really like let's get meals on the table on a weeknight. It was more like let's gather in the kitchen with friends and family and cook things. This one, Epic Vegan Quick and Easy, is still all about those over the top wild flavors. Like, it's meant to be wild and flavorful, but it is also satisfying that need to get something on the table in the middle of the week, to meal prep at the beginning of the week, to put something together quickly on a Saturday or Sunday for, brunch guest, as opposed to spending all morning making it, so you can spend more time enjoying your guest, that sort of thing.
Right.
Or you can bring your guest in on the cooking and cook from the first book. You know what I mean? So I'm giving you
Mhm.
options here, is what I'm trying to do.
Right, exactly. If anyone's out there and you have any questions, feel free to write them in the comments, and Dustin will be more than happy to answer them for you. Typically,
Yeah.
we do more interactive. I mean, we can just chit chat for a bit because one of the things we can go into, we can go more current events. You're in Atlanta.
Yeah.
You're in a state right now that's got some controversy. You want to talk about that?
Um, Not really.
Okay.
I mean, in short, people should still stay inside, if you ask me. I mean, that's really the most I want to say about it. It's Yeah. I mean, I just think it's important that we all sort of respect what's going on and help each other the best way we can. I have a cousin who, from Michigan, has volunteered herself to go work at the hospitals in New York. And it's
Mhm.
things like that where I'm like, this person is putting herself out there and doing this, and is protected in a way, but still at risk. And here we are, it's still spreading, it's still happening, it's still going. And here we are just being like, no, I think we're good. Someone's making that choice. So I hope that it all comes down, a governor can say whatever they want. It all comes down to what the people make the choice to do. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I know some people will not make smart choices. Um, and I mean, yesterday I do recipe development for a company down here called Arden's Garden, and I had to go to the grocery store yesterday. So I go, put my mask on, put my gloves in. We are all in this together. Yes,
Yes.
Betty.
Thank you, Betty Ann.
Um, and I put my gloves on, put my mask on, and I went to get my items I needed to test at work. And as I was leaving, I saw these people take their gloves off, throw them on the ground, then put hand sanitizer on, and then get in their car. And I was just so livid. I was like, you threw your, and there was a trash can maybe 10 feet away. And I was like, I thought, aren't we all in this together when that happened? And I was like, just because we're being hit with one thing doesn't mean we're allowed to start being lazy on the other thing. I was so frustrated by that. But that's what I mean. It was just kind of that thing of like, people are going to do what they're going to do. There they were protecting themselves and protecting everyone else by wearing their mask and their gloves, but then they dropped their gloves on the ground.
Yeah.
It just made no sense to me. It blew my mind. I was truly, truly just speechless. And normally in that situation, when someone litters, I'll go, oh, hey, you dropped something. But they had already gotten in their car, so I was like, well, I'm gonna go knock on their window. And then I was like, oh, social distancing, I'm gonna respect. And I was like, I need to do something. So I had just taken my gloves off and thrown them away. So then I put on a new pair of gloves really quick, and I ran over and I picked their gloves up and I went like this, really? And they did that thing where they like didn't look at me. They saw me and they were like, no, and then they drove away. And I was just like, are you joking me with this? People are gonna do what they do.
They are, but good for you. Good for you for doing the right thing.
I do things like that and I feel like really bad then later. I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have. And then I'm like, no, that's exactly what I needed to do because that's just crappy.
Yes, agree 100%. Yeah, I see that a lot of people are littering now with your gloves, just take them off inside out and then tie them up and then toss them either there or bring them home in the car and toss them there. If we go out, which I don't go out very often, we bring our bleach bottle with the spray water and the bleach.
Yeah.
We bring that and we put it on the things that we're bringing back as they get into the car.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are things that you can do to make it easier. I haven't been to a supermarket, so I do Instacart because I just don't want to leave the house.
Yeah.
So what are the supermarkets like?
And that's very smart. I wouldn't if I didn't have to. There's things, as a chef and when I'm shopping, you're trying to source things. It's like, and I do Instacart sometimes, but like I can't always when there's specific things because if they bring the wrong thing, the whole recipe's shot that I'm doing. So it's just like, because I've thought about that. I'm like, oh, and I will get delivery when it wasn't this, but then every now and then I'll get the wrong thing. I'll be like, okay, well, I can run to the store and go get the thing. But now it's like, well, if now they're bringing the wrong thing and then I'm running to the store as well, I put their safety out, I put my safety out as well, and other people, like I'm just adding more to it if I try and like for me, it would be cutting a corner,
Right.
But for everyone else, it's the perfect thing to do. It's whatever everyone should be doing. And it's hard.
Yes.
It is. I get that it's hard, but like also like it's the right thing to do.
Agree 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then for the last 2 years, you've done Atlanta Veg Fest. If anyone doesn't know about Atlanta Veg Fest, it's one of the best festivals in the country.
Oh, it's great.
Yes. Absolutely love it. I was slated to come back and MC the room again. Were you going to be in it again? Because now you're there.
This year?
Yeah.
You know what? I haven't talked to them yet. Or have I? What if I'm signed up and I don't remember?
Well, I hope you are.
I haven't talked to them yet. I should reach out and see because I am here. I should definitely do it. I had such a heavy Veg Fest load last year because of the new book that I got sort of burnt out and I was like, okay, I need to just like breathe for a minute,
Right.
So I didn't, we weren't seeking Veg Fest out this year as we had been in previous years, just because you got to take a break sometimes. That gets really, really taxing. It's awesome to do it. It's so great to do it, but it is one of those things. Though I'm here, so there's no reason I shouldn't do this one. Like I always did the New York one when I was there. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
yep.
Yeah, I should reach out to Leah and see.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. Lee, are you watching? Because it'd be great if you are, and then we can just put it together now, and
I
hopefully
think
it'll
I know.
happen. Because I've had to push my events from May and June already into the fall,
Sure.
and I have another one coming up in July, which I don't know what's going to happen with it.
Yeah.
I have no
Well, that's
idea.
the interesting thing about this, and it's so funny. I was like, I don't want to talk about the controversy of down here, but the interesting thing about this is like it's lifting this. It's like we're all should still be cautious for months to come. It seems, you know what I mean, and not out of being. I don't think it's out of being overly sensitive or anything. It's just out of being smart. So yeah, it sucks. We have to wear masks and we have to put gloves on, but like in the big picture of it all, it's not the worst thing that we have to do in the world. Like we could suck it up for the next 6 months, a year, and do that if we have to, you know?
I believe that. I agree with you. I
And of
mean,
course we all want it to be done. Oh my goodness. You know? Like come on.
yeah, so I totally hear you. Yes, it's I'm introverted, so this hasn't been a real stretch for me.
So
You
listen,
know,
there's all the social stuff is falling off my calendar and I'm like, that's fine. I'm
oh,
like, that's
good.
quite all right. That's quite all right. David's the social one. And he'll
Oh,
usually like be like, oh, so hey, do you want to go to dinner with? And like, I love that he is because it gets me like out of work. It gets me out of just continuing like being in the kitchen. So I'll be like, I really don't want to, but yes, I will. And then I'm so glad I do always. But it's been good for the last 4 weeks for him not to bring up a dinner date. I was just thinking that the other day. I was like, that's fine.
that's why this is like, yes, it is. It is kind of perfect for those of us that, even though we go out to events where there's thousands of people and we interact with thousands of people over the course of a weekend, and then
Yeah,
we just go be around nobody the next
yeah, well,
week.
and we interact with those people and we have a great time is the
Yes.
thing. Like we do. So that's the thing too. I have to remind myself often in large event situations to be like, oh my gosh, you'll go and it'll be great. And every time I do, hands down, it's fantastic, you know?
Yep.
But it's hard to get out the door sometimes when you're an introverted person.
It is very true, especially
Yeah.
the unknown when you're going
Yeah.
to something you haven't been to before.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the harder part. So we're turning this into like an introverts unite. Like we totally get one another, but I'm sorry for the extroverted people who are killing themselves. like please let me out
Yeah,
of the
I can't
house.
imagine. I can't imagine. I mean, again, sweet David, I'll come home from, because that's the other thing right now. Since I still go, we supply Arden's Garden supplies health food to Publix. So we're
Okay.
busy. Like we're in the kitchens, we're in production, making juices, making food to send out to our stores and to send out to people who need them, you know? And it's immune boosting shots we're sending out. Like, I mean, we're
Hmm.
sending out food that is actually healthful, you know? So I'm still at work and I go from work to here, work to here, work to here. But poor David, like he would just love to have that opportunity right now. I come home and Wednesday or Thursday usually he's about to snap. He's like, I need to like do something. I'm like, just go for a drive. Go for like a drive. Just go. So
He can't help you.
help me. Well, that's the funny thing. He's super busy on his own. He's got all this.
Okay.
He teaches. He teaches online. He's very busy coaching and teaching. He's been doing dance classes online. He's amazing.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
So he's been doing a
awesome.
lot of great stuff. He's very, but I think of that because I do know when I'm not doing a full-time job and I am like focusing primarily on I write the book all day long, I get a very isolated feeling. And that's different from being introverted. I think you get to a point where you're like, I need to like see somebody and see something because all I'm thinking about is my work and all I'm doing is my work. And like, I need to like sort of move out of that space a little bit, you know?
Yeah, no, totally hear you. And then, so the plant-based network, you're
Yeah.
on there as the vegan roadie.
Yeah.
How did that come about? I'm pretty sure Ron. Did you approach Ron? Did Ron approach you? How did it come about?
You know, that's a good question.
I
Um,
know what happened. I know how it happened. I take it back. Atlanta Veg Fest.
no,
That's it was
it
before
happened
that.
before that. I worked with Ron on, um, when we did season 2 of the Vegan Roadie, he was with Plant Pure,
Hmm.
and we worked on a bunch of collaborations during that entire situation. and situation. And during the entire filming of season 2, him and I were very collaborative, and I was supporting Plant Pure, and they were supporting Vegan Roadie season 2. So I met him during that, and we sort of just kept in touch. And then he circled back and he was like, "Hey, we're doing this. Are you interested in streaming?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely, of course." So that's sort of how it all came about.
Oh,
I didn't
really
even know
cool.
they were going to be in Atlanta Veg Fest. I turned around and everyone was there, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Yes, I know, because they were recording while we were there too. I mean, they got
my whole demo's online. I didn't even know.
Yes, you did a really good job.
That's good.
As you usually do.
Thank goodness I was on that day then.
Yeah. Yes, I don't remember what you cooked that day. I know you.
Coconut cheddar fondue.
Yes, 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 yes. I was actually looking the yes, I got to try that.
Well, I love to hear that. That's good.
Yeah, because afterwards, I'm cleaning up, so whatever is left, I can eat it because vegan and gluten free and happy. I know a lot of cooking demos are made to be as inclusive as possible, and each time you've done a vegan gluten free thing, I'm pretty sure the last 2 years, right?
The year before that, I did nachos,
Actually,
and they were gluten free.
3 years. What did?
I've done 2.
2 years.
But I
2
did
years.
1, and then I missed a year, and then I did another.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, so that's been
What's the date of their Veg Fest this year?
It is
November?
It is November. It is, let me see. I moved Wilmington to the 7th. I moved Nashville to the 22nd. It is between them. I think it's the 12th, November 12th, 13th, I think that weekend. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that seems right. That seems like it was like the same as it was this last year.
Yeah.
Is it at the same venue it was at this last year?
Yes.
Oh, great. That's good. That was huge.
Yeah, no, that's awesome because they have all those different rooms. They have the really big room for the speakers that, the like the doctors, like more, profound, I guess, whatever you want to say it. And then the room that I'm in, which has, the cooking demos and maybe some, I don't even know, other speakers, but typically more cooking demos, the one that I'm in on. One year we did the live like podcast with the Bearded Vegans.
Oh,
that was in the room, and JL Fields has come and she's done a cooking demo for Atlanta.
I was in the room. That room I was in that year.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Because JL and Andy and I went to an escape room that trip. Yes, we did not escape.
You didn't escape? Andy's
much
so
to
good.
Andy's dismay, because Andy is an escape room fanatic. Or did we escape? No, we didn't. We got super close. He's very good at them. I'm not. David's also very good at them. JL was totally into it, and I was into it. There was just a point where it was all like Morris Cody and stuff, and I was like, I'm out. I can't do this. But he loved it.
I've done a couple escape rooms with Andy. Andy, if anyone doesn't know, Andy Tabar is a Compassion Company. So he's the one that has the shirts to say anything you can eat, I can eat vegan. And he is a escape room expert. And he really is 100%. I'm 50-50 with him. We did one in New Jersey. We got out with like a minute, not even a minute to spare.
I did one with him in New York. I sent him a text when it was David and I share the same birthday, and I sent him a text and I said, "Hey, we're thinking about going to an escape room in Atlanta. I'm sure you have the information." He gave me like his rundown from his favorite to his least favorite and why, and if I go, what I should do. And I was like, this is amazing. Thank you. You should really have like a blog on that or something. Is blogging still a thing?
It is, and I'm pretty sure he is writing about escape rooms. Good. He has been asked to do that because we did one here in North Carolina in Wake Forest, and we did not escape, and they even gave us more time. We did. It was for like 7 or 8 people. It was 2 of us in there.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
He could do a podcast on escape rooms.
He could. The Bearded Vegans should totally do that. If anyone wants to listen to a podcast, totally listen to the Bearded Vegans podcast.
Oh, listen to them. And they're both adorable. They're both so cute.
They are. Yes. We love them, clearly.
Yes.
So wait, you said you're doing a podcast too.
Yeah.
So let's segue into, tell us about your podcast, what it's going to be like.
So we're actually just starting interviews this coming weekend. We've got some great people lined up. So the podcast is called Keep On Cooking, and the premise is to empower home cooks to have fun and get excited in the kitchen and keep on cooking at home. So I'm essentially going to go through. I have like 100 cookbooks, and it just keeps piling up through the years because I love them, and I'm just gonna start going through and picking them out one by one and calling people up, and then I don't call anyone anymore, but getting the authors on board and doing interviews with them. So this weekend I'm interviewing Chef Rich Landau and Kate Jacoby of Veg from Philadelphia, and
Oh.
Natalie Slater from Bake and Destroy. Then I've got Miyoko Shinner lined up for an interview. I've got Chloe Cascarelli lined up for an interview. Jason Roble. We've got some really great people that are going to be on this podcast. We're going to talk about the books, but I also, like I said, podcasting is a much more expansive platform. So I'm very excited to have the opportunity to sit down and have a conversation that isn't so formatted into like, tell us about the food. Now let's look at the food. Now what's the best thing on your menu? Now let's do this. Now let's go over here. It's just going to be more like, hey, where'd you come from? Why do you like cooking like this? And what can we share with people at home that will maybe help them get into cooking a little, excite them about cooking a little bit, you know? It's very exciting. I'm really stoked about it.
Yeah, when you talk to Veg, it's probably one of my favorite restaurants I've ever
It's
eaten
so
in.
good.
Yeah, it's absolutely. You know what? I never really understood sauces as being so important until I
Sure.
ate into their restaurant.
We just did a live demo with them. I hosted with them on Monday.
Oh wow.
And was it this past Monday? Yeah, from their home kitchen. It was amazing. It's actually something I would like to explore, is doing demos like that called Keep on Cooking, where we actually get to go into these authors' homes. But he made this amazing seared turnip dish for us, you know, and Kate was there and their son Rio, and they just chilled and like did the dish. It was great, and we hosted and I asked questions, and it was fantastic. But yeah, it's gonna be really fun. Jackie Saban from Vegan Yak Attack is lined up. Trying to think of who else. Fran Costigan. Yeah, just lots of great people. It's gonna be really cool.
That is right. The only thing that you can't do, the only thing you can't do with these podcasts is try the food.
That's exactly right. But that's okay. I've tried a lot of food in my lifetime. So actually the best part about it is you can try whatever you want, because we're going to be talking about food from the book. So I'm going to try and cook from all the books as I go along as well. Like tonight I'm going to make Natalie's French toast banana bread cupcakes.
Okay.
So, you know, you're like, oh,
that sounds great.
I mean, I'm always trying to like, you know, I mean, I got some other cooking I should be doing, but it's so much fun to cook from someone else's book.
Yeah, I'm not a big cookbook person. I just go into the internet and get recipes that way. However, I bought your book because it was right. Yeah, it was nice because you signed it and you wrote in it for me.
Yay.
And I the one recipe, I haven't done it yet, but I should do it because I have time now.
Sure.
Is the quinoa that you have a
the
quinoa
garlic fried quinoa?
It's not a garlic fried quinoa. The quinoa turned into something else.
Oh, the quinoa bacon bits.
Yes.
Nice.
I need to make that.
So easy. Do it. It's so good.
Yeah. I definitely, that is something I have to do. And I'm assuming I could probably do that with rice too, couldn't I?
Absolutely.
Right? I love versatile recipes. I'm also not one to follow them. I tend to look at them and then make them my own as I'm
which is fine, but if it goes wrong, then you can't blame it on the author.
Very true. Very true. You completely changed your recipe. It's your fault. No, it's on me. So
JL and I talk about that all the time. She'll be like, someone told me they made the recipe, but they subbed out this and they subbed out that and this and that, but then they didn't like it. And I was like, well, then that's not your recipe.
Right. Well, let's see. I know you only have 30 minutes. Can you tell us like where people can find you and how to follow you and just do your own plug?
Yeah, of course. So my name's Dustin of The Vegan Roadie. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Vegan Roadie. Though I'm not really on Twitter much, so really Facebook and Instagram, you can find me at The Vegan Roadie or veganroadie.com, of course. And obviously, you need to watch The Vegan Roadie on the Plant-Based Network with all of the other amazing shows that are lined up on there as well.
Exactly.
Oh, and you can also watch me on an episode of Girl Scout, why do I always forget the name? Girl Scout Baking, Food Network Girl Scout Baking Championship, Girl Scout Cookie Championship. Basically, go look up Food Network Girl Scout Championship. I'm on episode 3. You can watch it, I think, for like $2 on Amazon right now. So if you're in quarantine and you're looking for a vegan on mainstream TV, I'm one of them. You can find me there, and we need to support vegans being on mainstream TV so we get more content out there.
Yes, agree 100%. Well, I really appreciate your taking time because
thanks for
I know
having
they're
me.
really busy. Alyssa did a great job of putting this together on 2 days notice. So I thank her. She is the best. She shared this to your network so it could run live with us.
Yay!
Yes, and this will go up on Virtual Veg Fest. This will go up on our YouTube channel for Virtual Veg Fest as well. That's the new thing that Ron and I, the Plant Based Network and Triangle Veg, is working on. We have a virtual Veg Fest, so hopefully we can maybe have you cook on there if we can fit more time in for you.
Yeah,
so that'd be really cool. But I really appreciate you, and I hope I see you this year in person.
Oh my God, let all your doggies say hi to them for me.
Yeah, there's 3 running around.
See them all bopping around. So cute.
Yeah, and they stayed quiet that's good.
They did it. They nailed it.
They did good. UPS right before we went on.
Well, it was great to see you.
Same here. And I have a great, you too. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye, everyone.